At this rate, I've been making videos for so long, it's abnormal to not make videos. I really thought I wasn't going to make any serious videos today, but I am. I'll just make this one. I don't know what it was, but it's like, I just couldn't not think about this video. I couldn't not think about making this video, and I really do believe that it's going to help me out. So I'm doing it, even though I said no serious videos. All fun videos are going to come out today. So let's talk. I really believe that my ways of learning are far outdated and they need a major update. In school, we get taught to learn by sitting down in a classroom with a whole group of people that are at different levels of understanding in the class. I know, especially during A-levels, practically speaking, when I say practically, I mean during experiments, for example, because I did biology and chemistry, I was quite slow, like the last to finish, and in fact, it not only had an impact on me, but it had an impact on people around me. People around me, in this case, meaning the partners that I'd work with, pupils that I'd work with during these practical experiments. I remember one biology experiment in particular where we were last to finish. That said, I was thinking of saying this, that just really pisses me off because of how I think about it at first glance from an emotional standpoint. But my mind has gone somewhere else completely. It's gone to the one time when my chemistry teacher told me that even though I wasn't getting the highest of grades, for example, A's, I was around the C level. C/D, I was the hardest worker there. I don't know what he saw in me, but maybe he saw my ability to be able to produce a lot. Even though I wasn't producing a lot back then, he genuinely could have seen the potential back then, that the same potential I see now, but he saw it much earlier, way back then, all the way back in school when I had extremely delusional standards. I'd really like to get to meet him one day and to let him know that he probably was right, and that most people that I went to school with are most likely going to be average people, whereas I'm one of the odd few that actually turn out to make something big of themselves, and perhaps something so big of themselves they actually asked me to go back there. Seriously. I say this is all relevant because it goes back to the school and how we were built to learn. My ways, I know, is far outdated because it's the same ways that I've been using in school that haven't worked. The same systems, the same sitting down, except instead of it being with a group of people that may have a larger amount of understanding on the course material due to them revising more than I did, it's now just me laying in bed or sitting down and thinking about making YouTube videos rather than actually, well, doing what I set myself to do off camera. I'm working towards, I was going to say I want to, but I am working towards being able to do both. Now, I apologise for that. Just saw a girl cycling and I just got a bit distracted. Especially during A-levels, I remember having the ability to be what would be considered the smartest in the room by getting high marks, but I just would not achieve it. I was in way too low a gear. What I was doing outside of school negatively impacted my performance in school. I wasn't getting the high marks that I could have got. And I really think that was because of the sort of life I was living outside of school. I would go out with friends, but that would be rare. So social interactions outside of school were occasional. I wouldn't say extremely rare, but they were occasional. Wearing the same old overgrown, just oversized, that's it, oversized clothing, like the black baggy Nike bottoms that I used to have that I gave to my dad, along with the black Nike hoodie that I gave away to my dad. They were just oversized. They did not fit me. I wanted to say, I was going to say, I don't know why I got them, but I know why. I don't even want to talk about it in this video. Not because I feel uncomfortable with talking about the topic, as to why I did what I did. However, it just doesn't really have anything to do with the video, I don't think. When talking about things through that avenue, so I'll switch up and think differently, going back to the learning. I'd write out the same old content that was there, and I'd just write it in paper over and over and over again. I remember people saying that if you write it down rather than type it down, you will remember it a lot more clearly. You'll remember what you've learned a lot more clearly if you write it down rather than type it down. Maybe that's true, maybe it isn't. And if it is true, I don't know the science behind it and why that's the case. I don't know. But I do care. I need to do right by myself to understand that in terms of understanding how to learn, I need to know how to learn and how to do it most efficiently. Going about things where I was just sat at a classroom, and then when I come back home sometimes, I'd write out the course material in the books on paper, and also after school with basketball friends at the time who stayed late after school because of their practice matches. I'd chill out with them. This was during year 13. I just did not want to be home. I just didn't want to be home at all. One thing I've noticed is that with like NBA stars, on the premise that these people who speak about their journey and where they've come from, it seems like it's either two things. It absolutely could be more, but it seems like two things to me as to how they become someone that is just a little kid playing basketball to someone that's a world-class NBA great. And it seems like one of the two things: they either come from extreme hardship in varying degrees, and or their parents are already world-class athletes that mean that which for them means that if they want to go in that direction, they can have the help of their parent or parents who have been in the league to be able to help them go in that direction. I've heard certain people like DeMar DeRozan due to being in Compton, there was a lot of gang related stuff around him, and that he was slightly a part of, I think, after going on YouTube and listening to his story once late at night. I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know, but I could certainly imagine NBA stars potentially being a part of gangs, but they don't want to be, and really want to just use sports as a way out, because they can see that other people, especially black people, like themselves in this case, for example, have been able to escape that sort of life through basketball. Any sort of hardships and tough times they're facing, they can channel that frustration, that anger, that hatred, that feelings of sorrow, those feelings of sorrow, they can channel it through the game. And it seems like they only really have one goal in mind, one major goal in mind, which is to become the best star that they can be. Going back to the video now, in school, I didn't really have one main aim that I consciously focused on, other than just trying to get high grades. I put such a pedestal on these grades, and it obviously didn't work. So I know for next time not to do that for the gym instructor exams or the personal trainer exams, and exams beyond this. It's not that didn't work for school, so I'm not expecting it to work here either. I know from personal experience, even recently, that being in a messy environment does not help. Being in an environment, in terms of both what you can see and what the place looks like, and also how much background noise there is, it really plays a part in how much you can efficiently learn something. If the environment is messy, for example in my case, because it's being used as storage, and you can hear a lot of background noise, it's tough to focus, honestly. It's quite the challenge. For that reason, and I know this being the case, I know better, I have cleaned my room a bit so I can just go there, and the chances of me being able to focus are a lot more likely compared to when it was just straight up messy. One thing I've also noticed, going back to the DeMar DeRozan thing, is that it seems like when you learn at night, your mind's a lot more like a sponge than one that questions what you're actually consuming, which I can use to my advantage here, because I could use that on the way to for the exams, which are there for me to be able to have the PT sessions in full swing. Both on I may do PT sessions on camera, so you guys out there who want to get have sessions would have an idea of what they're like, and can have an idea of what I do. We'll see. Maybe not, I don't know. I may be in a position where I actually only do PT sessions outside of the gym rather than in a gym, and I allow people to train at home. From there, I'd be out and about a lot more, helping people train, and also working towards my personal training businesses that I plan to have in other ways. I know I want to learn, but I've never asked myself, what sort of styles would I like to learn? The course tutor for the gym instructor course has put videos out there that are about learning styles, and I could use that to update my ways of learning so that they aren't outdated, and the ways of learning that I do have are actually up to date. To me, up to date means I have ways that work for me. That's what up to date means, instead of them just being systems that don't really work. Of course, you may be in a position where you don't do as much as you'd like to do. I've experienced that countless times throughout the Plank Journey series. Like I could even say today, for example, I didn't have that effective a session today, but that I'm talking about specifically on camera, because I went back for the second time, see if there was anyone there I wanted to speak to. Turns out there wasn't. I just went out for some fresh air after coming back from somewhere. I forgot what I was going to leave with that, but I can make it relevant right now. I really do want to socialize, and that may help with me actually being able to learn the gym instructing course, because I'd be improving my health. It's not just physical and mental health. That's not the only parts to health there are. There's also social. I've forgotten what the other ways that the course says, but it's not just physical and mental. I don't know every single thing I have to do exactly. That will mean I do what it takes in order for my situation to change, and that means that I've done what it takes to make my learning skills up to date. But I do know I have to start from somewhere, and I can start with consistently looking at the courses every day. I mean, I've planned to make learning the content an everyday habit, but I haven't stuck to it every day. It is something that's new, but I've always had something to show for the Plank series. Even for the days I was out, I don't have as clear a way yet as to how I'll do the same or an equivalent that YouTube does for how what I've learned during each day. That might not have made sense, but I'll just explain. So obviously, if you're creating videos, or even if you're not, you can see the title of a video, and you can see when it was made. I don't know how I'd do the equivalent of that for learning the material, how I'd keep a very efficient log. Maybe I just have to put more effort into it. I really don't know. But I do know something, and that's that what I have to do, what I'm doing has to change. I mean, I was using the tick box system, but yeah, I did miss one day completely in all criteria in terms of the stuff I make off camera. I want to stand up now, so I want to do it. I'm going to stand up and walk. Maybe I need to go and lie down in nature more. Maybe that would help with my learning. And just come out, bring my course material with me. Or I could do download some of the videos which are a part of the course, and then I can listen to those when I'm walking, and then eventually it will sink in. I think that's what I want. Signs that what I'm actually learning sinking in, and that I'm actually knowing more than I once did. And that I'll be more than ready for what's coming. I'm referring to the exams, but life isn't just all about exams. I have a bigger picture, and it ideally it would be nice if the course material could recognize, or maybe they do and I just haven't realized it. But what I was going to say is it would be nice if the course material would hint at it being a very sensible idea to remember why you're actually doing the exams, and advising people to have a long-term image, a bigger picture that they see for themselves as to why they're actually doing what they're doing, rather than only becoming a personal trainer, or only becoming a gym instructor, or only becoming a yoga instructor. I think I can focus on just doing what it takes to be able to have signs that what I'm actually doing sticking in, and that I'm trying out different learning styles, and these learning styles that I am trying out, they're working, or at least some of them are, and what I'm doing is adapting, is changing, is becoming more efficient. The way how I go about things is becoming more efficient. They've got revision plans, so I want to work on them, and eventually just after going at it enough, things will change. I think, yeah, that'll be it. Even though I can make a part 2 to this, we'll just see how things go. But anyway, hope you enjoyed and maybe even learned something valuable, and I'll see you in the next one. If there's anything I've really taken away from this, it's that I'm going to have to undo that school conditioning of learning only sat down at a chair, and have to go about it much differently than only in that way. There isn't only that way to be able to learn things. But yeah, I'm gone. I'll see you lot later. Bye.